Okay, that was annoying. Probably the wrong image to use. Not going to worry about it. Hey, we're streaming. But it's late because the service I used to stream is down. Hey, Joanna, hi, Khalifa, how art thou? That's how fancy olden times people say, how are you? Or, would have had fancy olden times people embraced the term, how are you? Which I have no evidence that they did. I don't know why I got hostile with that, but I was entertained by it. And at the end of the day, what is life but an opportunity to be entertained by nonsense? Actually, I don't know if that tracks. I am happy with it, though, so I got that going for me. Let's load up some games, shall we? I am so sorry. It's a big old mess today. Things have gotten confused, and I haven't been happy about it. Because of science. Boop. Alright. So, we're going to start with something weird. So please bear with me. Someone made a first-person shooter version of Biohazard 2, or as sane people call it, Resident Evil 2. Ooh, scenes of explicit violence and gore. Tell me more. Of course we're going to, Khalifa. Okay, that's weird. Maybe it's controller only because it's not responding to the clicks of my mouse. Yeah! It's not responding to my controller either. We might be moving on to Antarctica 88 sooner rather than later.
A bizarre incident occurred on the outskirts of an American suburb called Raccoon City.
What is it a suburb of?
Later revealed that the terrible disaster had been caused by the T virus, a mutagenic toxin created by
Aww. It's Leon Kennedy's iconic Jeep. She's doing well, although sad to be back at work after her vacation. A diner? What the hell?
What have we got here?
Alright, is this controllable? I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed what that looked like. The famous gas truck. Totally fine, Coffee. I assume you're busy and we don't take attendance. Zombie! I mean, this is a perfect recreation.
What could have done this? What was that?
Zombies?
What are these things? All right.
Oh, nice.
Don't move. No.
Danganronpa is fantastic.
What's up with that guy? That was a queen.
Wait! Don't shoot!
Down.
It's someone's,
Police station. There'll be
all
lots of-
3D low poly recreation of Resident Evil 2.
There.
Which is honestly kind of incredible. Well, I don't have paranoiac, so it would have to be hanged man coffee.
Hey, did you open the glove box?
Sure. There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you.
Now, a fun fact about this is depending on who you play as first, the car either slams into the wall engine first or spins around and lands in trunk first. And because they each go out their own side door, that changes which character goes out which way. No, I did not yet. Oh, damn. I'm in the middle of a bunch of other games, Coffee. It's such a cool aspect that a lot of people miss.
I'm okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Because in game B, you get to the station a different way than if you're in game A. Oh no, that's the worst kind of destiny to be parted by. Or is it? It is. What is going on with these controls? Yeah, there seem to be major problems with the controls. I can't move forward at all. I would love to continue and not have to restart the entire game. So you ready for this? Here are the controls they've gone with. No, really? I have no idea what you're talking about, Khalifa. I would love for some information because I died immediately and you wouldn't let me continue. So, what they did with the controls is you're pulling the triggers to turn and then raising the gun with one bumper and shooting with the other bumper, only you couldn't move forward. Alright. So let's try this one more time. Alright, I can move forward. Yeah, so the strafe, left and right is strafe, and to turn.
What are you doing? Hold your fire. I'm a human.
Oh, nice. And to turn, you have to use the left controller and right controller. They will not let you use the thumbstick to turn, because I think they're trying to simulate having a PS1 controller, which did not have a thumbstick. And I respect the dedication to detail there, but at the same time, I'm extremely annoyed. Oh no! Zombies! Oh, and while aiming, you can't move. Again, true to the original. It is just a perfect and that's why I couldn't move earlier. You might be wondering why I'm killing all these zombies instead of fleeing. What happened to those handgun bullets? Did I automatically reload? I feel like the turn should be normal and strafe should be the optional one. Wait a minute. You're not letting me get his shotgun? Are you kidding? So I just wasted all of my bullets for nothing. Fantastic. Apparently I just wasted all my bullets for nothing. Also, you're not allowed to take the 800 bullets that are behind this counter. Fine. I do like that there's no loading screens. They're not something in the car? Yeah, and for some reason you can't use the menus. So the game is officially broken. All right. When this gets further into development and works, I will be interested to come back and see how it goes, but it does not work yet. Which is a tragedy, because it's a really cool idea. I'm not going to pretend it isn't. Next up, The Fate of Baldr playtest. So, as you may understand, this is a game about the fate of Baldr. And what happens with that? Was there a playtest involved? Let's see together. Can I use my controller? I don't know. Again, I'm looking forward to finding out. Alright, so this is... ow! Okay. Makes sense. All right. Let's see how we do. Private, obviously. It's a test. Ooh. All right, tower defenses. I do love tower defense. So how do I build? Uh-huh. Nice. Okay. Oh, it's a bear's mouth jetpack. I see. And resource nodes are where? Are these them? No. Ah, there it is. Alright. Nice. I would love to build a tower. Ah! Ooh. Camera sensitivity is weirdly way too low. Even still. Alright, that's a lot better. I don't know that I want to start a wave. Alright, so I need... Why can't I build a... Oh, you have to be standing on it. Okay. I'm embarrassed now. No, thank you for reminding me. I will use it. Alright, let's do it. Uh-oh. Oh, I have to kill guys to get more ammo. Alright. Ah. I see. Okay. Well, no, I want to start the actual game. Okay. All right. Okay. So the longer you wait, the stronger enemies become. Oh my god, they can throw rocks at me? Alright. Now where's this supply drop? So I teleport to the ship. I heal at the ship. Where's the supply drop? Does no one... Oh, wait, it's on the map, right? Oh, there it is. Other side of the boat. Okay. Ooh. Upgrading a skill. Oh, so that's ranged, melee. Melee? Alright. Can I upgrade the towers? Oh. Let's boost the tower for 10 seconds, see what that looks like. Oh, I don't have the ability to do that. Uh-oh. Nice. Okay. So who am I getting hit by here? Also, where is my experience level that shows when I'm fully leveled up? I see. So that's speed. That's max health. Melee damage. Oh, I would need 2 to do range damage. Okay. Okay. Uh-oh. Those items don't disappear if I wait too long, do they? So they drop us this thing after every wave. Uh-oh. Wait, why am I doing 16 points of damage sometimes and 60 other times? Vastly different amounts of damage I'm doing to this guy. Ow. Uh-oh. Time to go heal. Well, the tower seemed to be working great. That's something. Take that, you jerk. I got the sunstone! Nice. Can I unlock a new tower? Ooh, new tower. If they send me a copy, I'll try it. If not, not a rush. It's multiplayer only, so it's not a priority. So I can use my sunstone to upgrade? Alright, physical damage towers. Oh. I cannot upgrade anything. Oh, because I don't have the pin. I only have the sunstone. I see. Ooh. Fuel capacity. Oh, of my jetpack. Nah, that's fine. Oh. Alright, let's go for it. That'll be next, Khalifa, don't worry. Alright. So I have two different currencies for different towers. That's weird, right? Alright, let's fight some monsters and we'll figure it out as we go. Uh-oh. Wait. How'd a guy get past me? A lot. Oh, there's two different approach paths. I probably should have checked the map. That one's on me. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Alright, that was embarrassing. Should have looked around. Ooh, supply drop. Nice. Oh, that's the drill. Okay. And so it's constantly getting me a little bit of resources here and there. So it's going to be... Okay. I do like my jetpack, I won't lie. And perfect. I did spawn a wave. Thank you for noticing. Oh, there's the upgrade. And those are the things that fill up. Okay. The hell is this thing? How are the other guys doing? Nice. Okay. I think I'm managing this all right. Oh, good. The stuff they drop doesn't go away. How did something end up there? I'm so confused. Uh-oh, we gotta troll this wave. It's a shield. Oh, wasn't it? I thought it was more ammo. It was some kind of a bonus. Okay. Why can I not improve that again? How do I get a second level? Hey, Senor Rockman. What the? Okay, here we go. Nice. I'm gonna say this is going really well. Okay. I do like the idea of them giving you as long as you want to build, but it increases the power of the enemies. That's a nice touch. I don't know that I've seen that mechanic before, but I like it. So if I don't spend this, I don't get more experience points from murder. All right. Hey, buddy. Ow. I do like the look of these Birdmans. Here we go. Nice. Here we go. What is that? Yeah. What is this? Oh, they leave a murder totem. Nice. Well, that's a boss. So they can leave debuff towers. That's neat. I'm gonna have to start shotgunning this dude. Sooner rather than later. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Whoa. What's going on with that? Oh no! How did they get through the towers? Oh my god, my towers are not as good as I thought they were. Oh, this is proving problematic. Kind of wish these guys had health bars. I mean, he's got a health bar, but I wish he had numbers on it so I could see how much health he had left. Finally. And I've got the Staff of Farbouty. Ooh, I've reached rank 1. I don't know what that means. Drake +1, yeah. Alright, let's go wishlist the game, huh? I'll play this. I gotta say, it's pretty solid. Alright, next up, Antarctica 88. A game about Antarctica in the year 2015. Now that's a lie. It wasn't even an attempt at a joke. It was just a lie. Alright. Night will come in 8 hours. Alright. Probably my actual save. I'm in Jorge. That sounded bad. The Jorge. Careful. Is there a ramp around here? No! The bridge has collapsed! Uh-oh. Nice. Can I climb that? No. Uh-oh. Nice. Oh, I see. I have to use the... I'm gonna let him leave rather than wasting a ton of bullets. Hey, buddy. I just ran over a zombie. And by zombie, I mean mutant. And by mutant, I mean alien. Yay, drilling station! There's so many monsters. Okay. Gonna have to take the cable car out of here, which I assume means powering it up. Alright. I know. And he wasn't the voice of Candyman. He played Candyman. He was not a voice actor. Yes, he was famously also a voice actor. But he was the actor of Candyman. He put on the suit. And he got bees on his... And he got bees all over it. Leading to my favorite story about that movie. And this is a true fact about the movie Candyman. Cave went down a whole network of tunnels, length of many tunnels, and constrictions. Some definitely down there. Temperature down is much higher than the surface. Okay. Yay. Sorry, as I was saying, the best story about the making of the movie Candyman is he was rightfully nervous about getting stung by bees since the plot required him to have bees all around all the time. So he negotiated. He got paid, you know, like something. I don't know what his wage was for the movie. Probably in the neighborhood of $75,000, $80,000, just based on it being that budget of a movie at that time. And he negotiated, well, his agent likely negotiated a deal where every time he was stung by a bee, he would get a bonus of $1,000. And so at the end of the shoot, the man got a bonus of $27,000 because he had been stung so many times. Tony Todd is one of my favorite actors of all time. An incredible performer. Just great in everything he was in. Has the late period of his career mostly been, you know, $12,000, $15,000 a job to fly to some town and be in a movie for one day? Yeah, but that's good work. Comrade Biakov in the emergency situation. Okay. Ostina estimated the expedition to destroy all the samples under investigation and undermine the descent into the caves. Comrade Efimov voted against the decision, immediately transmitted distress signal instructions to the research station. To the mainland, the message should emphasize the presence of living instruments and dangerous creatures in the tunnels. Okay. There we go. I'm not happy about these dangerous creatures. Ew. So yeah, Tony Todd, an unbelievably talented man. We all miss him quite a bit. It was funny when they made the movie Venom, right? What the hell?
Это точно он. Он жив.
Why'd you call it a dungeon? It's a cave. Sorry, yes. So when they made the movie Venom, it's Tom Hardy just doing a voice as Venom. And I was very disappointed by the voice he did. Because I'm like, Venom should be a separate voice. Because it's not him. It's not happening in his head. It should be another creature as well. And so I'm like, why would you not get Tony Todd to be the voice of Venom? Was my statement at the time when the movie Venom came out. So you can imagine my joy when I found out during the production of Spider-Man 2, the video game, they announced that Tony Todd was going to be the voice of Venom. I'm like, yes, he is the only man who can play Venom. Ah! Wait. Did he get set on fire by the igniter at the front of my... No, okay. He got set on fire by the corpse on the ground. It's just I didn't pull the trigger and he got set on fire and I was very confused. How do health kits work again? No, I don't want to hint. Alright, how do I use a health kit? Settings. Controls. There's not controls. Tab. There we go. I was very sloppy with the flamethrower. Flamethrowers never do enough damage in video games. Games are afraid to portray how monstrously cruel and debilitating flamethrowers are. Like, being on fire is the most painful thing that can happen to a person effectively. So the idea that you catch on fire and just like, I'm gonna go about my business. That's why I turned on, what's it called? Far Cry 6. I got a flamethrower and I set a guy on fire and he just stood there shooting at me. And I'm like, how? Like, if you're not gonna treat the flamethrower right, don't put the flamethrower in a game. If you set someone on fire, they're not going to continue. I will keep that in mind. They're not going to continue trying to kill you. Ah! Alright, you got me, game. I don't know how these bugs are operating doors. Okay, where can I get this shotgun? Because I got shotgun ammo. No. Got it. So... Ah! There's so many of these mutants. They respawn, don't they? I love that when I pick up a grenade launcher round, it's like, You picked up one. One what? I don't know. Sure as hell not gonna tell you. Oh my god, there's so many of them. Hey, BMD. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, we played Fate of Baldr earlier. Ah! This is Antarctica 88. Alright, I'm ready to shoot some monsters. If necessary. Ugh, mazes. How I abominate them. Wait, there's also a rifle in this game? There's so many weapons. Ah! Alright, monsters. So I don't have a rifle, and I don't have a shotgun. I've just got a pistol. Ugh. I mean, it's not great news. I'm not going to disagree with you. With any luck, Trudeau will step down as party leader. And then things can improve. That was embarrassing. That worked nicely. What the hell? Alright, shotgun? Oh, it's definitely a low-budget game. Now, how do I see my map? Yay! Seriously, though, how do I use my map? Oh, damn it, I used health. What is the point of finding a map of the level if you can't use the map? Bullets! Seriously. How do I use the map? I don't think this is an unreasonable question. Oh. I'm saving again. Careful. Ooh. Yes, I just don't know how to look at the map. I'm sure I can.
Сын, держись.
Oh, I have to go to the pause menu.
Еще немного. Теперь с тобой все будет в порядке. Я отлично ориентируюсь в пещере и изучил повадки этих существ. Будь осторожен. Они совершенно слепые,
Oh,
но
seriously?
отлично слышат. Поэтому просто сиди тихо.
Ah, there's the shotgun.
Свой дробовик. Постараюсь добраться до самого низа пещеры, где мы проводили взрывные работы. Там должен остаться динамит. С его помощью мы
Oh, my back popped. And finally, we're back at the teaser from the start of the game. Of course it's locked. Alright, so I go right, circle down. Wait. No. I go left, across, 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 and that's the way to Dungeon 2. Left. Sorry, pal. Did I flee? Yes. Did fleeing work? Double yes. Jesus. Again, you'd think fire. Trying to see if there's ammo. No going back. Yeah, no, that spider's doing a lot of complaining. Uh-oh. Yay, it's a Gug! I'm ready. Is he coming? I'm so confused. You were exposed by a VTuber for being a degenerate. Are you kidding me? Oh no, I was confused. No, I was just restating things. I wasn't confused. Well, I'm sorry that happened. I hope you managed to get it sorted. Oh, wrong way. Well, that was embarrassing. Tab is the medikit. All right. Let's see if this works. Here we go. Alright, I feel more confident now. I've got a shotgun, and I've got 2 health kits. 1 health kit. He can't get across the planks, sucker. Ow. Finally. No, it's some sort of gug. Oh, he can't get up here? He can get up here. Okay. I'm so confused by how far he can chase me. Sorry, Mr. Gug. Yeah, it's rough. Nice. Okay, going well. I don't know that the same thing is going to happen in Canada. We have a more robust social safety net. And a culture of less evil. Not no evil, but less evil. In fact, we have quite a bit of evil going on. Just less evil. Also, I can't stress this enough. Pierre Polivier is a deeply unpleasant person. So that helps. Ow! Alright, now to find my PlayStation controller. Oh, there it is. That was not as hard as I thought it would be. The difficulty was quite manageable. Well, they were fought back in, they were just fought back in BC. And they were just fought back in, New Brunswick. And sure as hell, nobody in Quebec is voting for them. So it's just a question of what Ontario's going to do. Cool, coffee. Glad to hear it. Oh, by the way, the new Metro game is fantastic. It is, as you can imagine, a VR experience because I only play VR games if it's at all possible. It's so good. Well, check the polls in your area, see if the NDP or the Liberal has a better chance of winning, and then vote for whoever has a better chance of winning. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter as long as it's not the Conservatives. Everyone has to get together and vote strategically to make sure the Conservatives don't win. That's all it comes down to. But yeah, the VR game is so good. I'll have a bunch of footage that I'll show off of it on Wednesday. I'm going to do a little, obviously I can't VR on stream, but I will showcase some VR games on stream so people can see how good they're looking. But it's amazing. I liked the VR world, but I now love I liked the world of Metro, but I love playing it in VR. Oh, you just Google the polls for your riding. So find out the name of your riding. And Google the name of your riding election polls. Leak! It's great that you're back. My evil brother and his boss Cavity stole your power teeth while you were away. To prevent you from using your magic doors, this is convoluted, you have to hurry and get them back, otherwise you won't be a tooth fairy anymore. Oh no! Alright, so I've found some toothpaste. Can I use the toothpaste? Really love the waving ears when she jumps. Waving hair? Sure, who cares? The waving ears, oh my god, that looks so good. You press down to go through doorways. That's unusual. Okay. You could vote for a communist. If you'd like to throw your vote away. Oh, I can't open the door until I've got 4 teeth. Okay. Because I'm a tooth fairy, so I have to collect people's teeth. Although, fun fact, children's teeth that you collect will not look like that. They don't have roots anymore. The roots are destroyed by them being pushed out by the new tooth. Understandable. When we're not at threat from the Conservatives, you can throw your vote away all you want to make a point. I mean, Greens are great. Communists are fine. Woo! Got a tooth! And she did a little dance. It was adorbs. But at a time like this, no, you gotta vote strategically. Oh, that was it? I'm back at the start? Oh. Come on, Ginger. There we go. Well, yeah, no, communist Canada is obviously the best choice. Embracing full socialism. We're part of the way there. Oh, nice! I'm fighting now? Since when? So do I jump on monsters, or... I jump on monsters. Yeah! And some more health. Of course we're a part of the way there. Well, that was embarrassing. I'm so confused. Ah! We have a robust social safety net, and we have socialized medicine. That's a step in the right direction. Now, the next step is to get rid of capital entirely. That is a much more difficult step. But everyone knows we have a better healthcare system than countries that don't have socialized medicine. So we're well on our way to making the argument for the rest. Okay, there's no way across there. What up, Horror King? Having a good day? Do I need a special ability to get across there? Double jump, air hike, air dash? Air hike is just what double jump was called in Devil May Cry, if you're not familiar with the term. I think you can see what type of a game it is. I don't think I need to explain that to you. It would be weird if I did. Ooh, is this whole map a circle? Boom. I missed the E! I bet it's in that place I can't get through. It's true. Like, you gotta remember, the NDP came out of the prairies. There is a long history of labor out in the prairies. And the NDP is the part of working people and unions. Yes. That's where the NDP started. You little so-and-so. All of the money in the oil industry tends to make them go conservative. That's why my uncle's out there. Booyah! I mean, it's easy not to know that. You know? Are you learning about it in school? Probably not. Alright, let's do it. No, I'm not saying the NDP is conservative. I'm saying all of the money out in the prairies from the oil boom drew conservatives out there because people who make a lot of money like to be conservative. That's why the NDP has had problems there since. The heyday of the NDP was in the post-war period. That's when they started up. Then everybody out west started getting rich from the oil, and so they didn't want to pay their taxes anymore, and they wanted to hoard their money. Yes, exactly. No, the NDP is as far left as our electable politics go. Obviously, I would love to vote Green, but they're not going to win. If we could all get together... If we had ranked choice voting, Green would have seats. That's, by the way, if you're wondering, why was Trudeau so desperate to shut down ranked choice voting? It was because he was afraid of the NDP, but more likely the Green getting seats. Oh yeah, they're disgusting. What the hell? Ah, that's cute. It's a maze. Yeah. One of my favorite things that ever happened in Canadian politics was that the Globe and Mail put together a... what are these pegs I'm knocking down? Put together an online ranked choice voting. Is a system where you rank the... you rank all of the parties by how much you want your vote to go to them. You don't have to put everything down. You put down as many ranks as you want. So let's say you wanted your vote to go first to the Communists, right? And then second to the Green Party, and then third to the NDP. So what happens in ranked choice voting, and this is the interesting part, what happens in ranked choice voting is they count up all the votes, and if nobody has 50% plus one vote, good. And try to convince other people to do it too. So if nobody has 50% plus one vote, right? What they do is they go and say, okay, who got the least amount of votes, right? And so they take all the ballots. So let's say, for instance, in this argument, the communist got the least amount of votes. So they go to all of the people who voted communist first, right? And they say, okay, did the communists... now, the communists got the least amount of votes. So you get all the people who voted communist first. And then you say, okay, scratch off their first choice. Go to their second choice. And let's say a bunch of them had the Green Party, a bunch of them have NDP. Maybe a couple of them have Conservative because they're crazy people. Who the hell knows? But the point is, damn, this level's tough. All the people who voted communist first, right? All of their second choice votes get applied to the candidates. So you move all of their votes from the communists, who didn't get any vote, who were the lowest, to the next choice. And now that they've got all of those new votes, you count again and you say, okay, does anyone have 50% plus one vote this time? And so if nobody has 50% plus one vote this time, you go to the person who now had the second least number of votes. In this case, the Green Party, right? And so then you go to everybody who voted Green Party first or second choice, and you move down to their next list. And the idea being that there's honestly a pretty good chance... Oh, nice! I got a trophy. There's a pretty good chance that by the time you get to that third round, the NDP is going to be winning. Or the Liberals are going to be winning. Because fundamentally, the Conservatives only have 40% support at the absolute most in this country. Right? And so if you count up all the people who don't want Conservatives' power in a bloc, Conservatives would never win an election. And so Conservatives are desperate to avoid ranked choice voting. But the problem is, the Liberals are also desperate to avoid ranked choice voting, because the Liberals know that fundamentally, nice, the NDP has a lot of incredibly powerful and popular policies. And they don't want to have to actually run against the NDP. The Liberal are happy just being the party you vote for that gets rich from bankers and does not get... Okay, what do I don't understand what that symbol means. They're happy being the party that gets rich from bankers and that people vote for to keep the Conservatives out of power. But that only works for so long. Is what like rigging? Ow. What are these weird things I keep picking up? No, it's not. It's making sure your vote counts. It makes sure that you get to vote for who you want to win without having to throw away your vote. Like, why should you have to throw away your vote to vote for a communist? You can say, I want the communists to win, but if the communists don't want to win, I would like the Green Party to win. And if the Green Party aren't going to win, I would like the NDP to win. Why should you not be allowed to do that? Why should we only ever get to vote for our first choice? That's not how anything else works in life. Why should it work that way for voting? Exactly. So anyway, the funny story was, this is back in the day, in the early 2000s, the, yay, I finally spelled dent once. The Globe and Mail put together a online survey, right? And the online survey essentially ranked all of your positions. Oh, so I can't fight him? Well, what am I supposed to do here? I can't leave. It ranked all of your positions, right? And say, here's how you feel about all of these issues. And the idea was to see if you just judged your positions, who should you vote for? And that's a really good question. And so they made ranking and put points. And so it's like positions on immigration, positions on the economy, positions on legal reforms, position on crime, positions on... And so what it turned out, and this is why the Globe and Mail never did this again, because they had actual, like, this wasn't a scam. They had actual political scientists putting together the options on this survey and how many points should be weighted based on the various parties' political platforms. And so when Canadians filled out this form to find out who they should be voting for based on their positions about every issue, it turned out apparently 75% of Canadians would rather be voting for the Green Party. And of course this was humiliating for all the other parties because none of them were speaking to the Canadian people. And it was only the Green Party who cared about the economy and the environment and taxation. It's like basically every one of the Green Party's policies, the vast majority of Canadians preferred. And that was so humiliating for the Globe and Mail, they essentially never used the program again, or never attempted it again. Because fundamentally, Canada is a very left-wing country. We have a minority of right-wing people. They exist. The trucker convoy happened. I'm not going to pretend that it didn't. But fundamentally, we're an extremely left-wing country. And it is only, pretense and the media pretending that we're not that keeps the Liberals in power. But that's a whole other conversation. Yeah, like the vast majority of Canadians, according to this survey, would rather be voting for the Green Party if they had that option. That was a crazy story. Okay, he's back. Oh, come on. Yeah. Well, the Green Party has good policies. They just, you see, here in America, here they're a real political party with real positions, and occasionally they win seats. In America, they're just a cutout to draw left-wing votes away from the Democrats, and they're funded by the Russian government. It's a real bad situation. Essentially, after people blamed Ralph Nader for throwing the election to Bush back in 2000. I mean, the election was actually stolen, but that's a whole other conversation. Gore did win that election. It was stolen by the Supreme Court, but that's a whole other conversation. But when people blamed Ralph Nader, it essentially killed the old Green Party. Oh, they're dirty! I have to get some kind of brushing technology to clean them before I can pick them up. This game is not good at communicating its mechanics, is all I'm going to say. Ah, so I have to get him here to jump over so I can hop up and get that. Yeah. I mean, it's scary. We live in a scary world. I completely understand why you're nervous about the election. I'm nervous about the election. Especially after what a disaster America's election was. But, you know, we have different concerns here. So there's still reason to be positive. Especially when you remember that Canada is an extremely left-wing country. We just are. And always have been. We're not giving up our health care to please billionaires. See, that's the exact same kind of tooth, but it wasn't dirty, so I'm allowed to pick it up. I still don't quite understand this game, but I'm kind of getting the hang of it, and I'm going to say it. It's very cute. Yeah, you're not alone. I mean, honestly, it's probably healthy to be nervous for the elections. But yeah, just do the polling, advocate for the causes you believe in, and then get out there and make sure everybody votes. That's all you can do. I'm not going to suggest you die fighting piggies, but I really appreciate the hustle. No. The idea that anyone tries to make money out of healthcare is a wholly immoral proposition. It's insane that anyone is ever allowed to try and profit from healthcare. I'm not saying we need to turn into Cuba, but I will ask you a question. Why does it cost money to be a doctor? Why are you charged money to learn how to become a doctor? I'm about to tell you what I mean by Cuba. But why are you charged money to learn how to be a doctor? Is my question. Society needs, essentially for everything to run, our government needs, our country needs as many doctors as it can get. So the question becomes, why do you have to pay to become a doctor if it's something the country desperately needs? Teachers can get paid without. The government can just pay the teachers. Government pays for a lot of things. It can pay the salary of every teacher. All you do when you charge money to become a doctor is limit the number of people who can become doctors. Now in Cuba, it's a communist country, so basically everything is free and but everything costs money. It's a convoluted situation. But what you have to ask yourself is, what would be expensive about it? By any metric, Cuba is a much poorer country than Canada, okay? But in Cuba, if you want to become a doctor and you can pass the tests necessary to become a doctor, to get into med school, you go to med school. And Cuba pays for you to go to, it's free to go to med school because it is better for their whole culture to have more doctors. There are huge numbers of doctors in Cuba. So many, in fact, that every time there's a medical emergency somewhere in the world, Cuba just sends plane loads of doctors to help for free. Because Cuba is absolutely loaded with doctors. And do you know what that means? Cuba, despite being a dirt poor, I know. But the crazy part is, Cuba is not a lot worse than Canada's healthcare. Cuba has cured multiple types of cancer. Cuba came up with its own AIDS vaccine. Because when you throw lots and lots and lots of smart doctors at a problem, you can actually fix things. When you're not worried about earning money off of things, you can actually fix... Yes, Cuba has numerous kinds of cancer vaccines. That's a true thing. They came up with their own revolutionary treatment for AIDS. Because they have a lot of smart doctors. Because if someone wants to be a doctor and is smart enough to be a doctor, they say, you are going to be able to contribute to our society. And they let them contribute to their society. And there's no reason we can't do that here. Cuba is infinitely poorer than we are. We have the money to do this. We just choose not to because we let money into education, which is also something we never should have done. But yeah, you can look that up. Cuba has cancer vaccines. They have cures for types of cancer. And they did it. No, it's not going to happen in years, but it's not going to happen at all if you don't advocate for it. Like right now, Quebec is kind of getting close. So, I don't know if you know this about it. Quebec, right? But Quebec has damn good schools, right? They really do. I went to McGill. It's an incredibly good school. I loved it. Got my BA at McGill. Completely useless BA that serves no purpose. You know, English lit. I did it just to do it, you know. I had no interest in working in education or editing books, reviewing things, but I did it because you're supposed to get a college education, so I did. Point is, Quebec has good schools, but the thing about Quebec is, if you are from Quebec, it is incredibly cheap to go to a Quebec college. And so what they've done there is, and this is the thing they're doing is controversial. And because it's so incredibly cheap to go to college there, you have, it's not exactly a Cuba situation, but you have something akin to the Cuba situation where you have a lot of people becoming doctors there. Yeah, I know. I have my own issues with the government of Quebec. That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about a really good thing they do, which is make it incredibly cheap to get an education in Quebec. And the result of that is they have a lot of doctors. But the problem they're facing is those doctors tend to, like, get a borderline close to free education in Quebec, and then they travel somewhere else where they can make a lot of money and they don't want to live in Quebec. And so what the government is trying to do now is to make it so if you are a Quebec resident who gets one of these subsidized Quebec educations, you have to serve. You have to work as a doctor in the Quebec healthcare system for 3 years before you can move somewhere else and, make your money. I think that's fine, but unfortunately, they're going to have to override the Constitution to do it because people have the freedom to move and work. So in order to pass this law, they're going to have to override the Constitution. That sucks. Frankly, I think it's a good law. You're essentially getting to be a doctor for free, but then you have to work for the local government for a couple of years. I know. All over Canada, people don't have family doctors. It's insane. Here in Ontario, I'm lucky to have a family doctor. You know? My wife and I each had our own doctors. And we didn't give up doctors, when we got together, because we're like, what if one of them retires? And then my doctor did retire, so thank God My wife kept her doctor so I could get on their rolls. It's hard to get on a family doctor's rolls these days. This is my point. It's difficult. You get put on waiting lists. Seriously, is there a double jump? You get put on waiting lists. It's scary. And the way to fix this would be to throw more doctors at the problem. And the way to do that would be to never be in a situation, ever, where someone doesn't become a doctor because they can't afford to become a doctor. You have to take, like, it is necessary for our society to have as many doctors as we can get. That's how you keep a healthcare system running. That's how you keep a country running. You want as many doctors as you can get, and the best way to do that is to just remove the question of cost. If a job, and you might say, well, can't they just go and become docs and then move to another country after their years of service to Canada are up? But by the time, the genius of this system is, make the years of service 4 years, right? And so every time you have a doctor leaving for another country to make more money, well, they worked here for 4 years, so by definition, you're going to have a new doctor to replace them. And you know what? Not every doctor is going to leave. A lot of the doctors are going to stay. They're going to like their practice. They're going to be making good money. They're going to be members of a community. They're going to stick around. It works in Cuba. It'll work here. I mean, Cuba, obviously, it's a different situation because they can't actually leave Cuba. Although, you know what? It's not that hard, as hard to leave Cuba as it used to be. You can't just, move to America. But yes, like, there are solutions to this issue. But capitalism makes those solutions more difficult because we're pretending everything has to cost money. Because people say, oh, well, if you're going to be a doctor, that means you're going to make a lot of money in your life, so it should cost you a lot of money to become a doctor. But the benefit you provide to society is so great that who cares how much you're making? If they're making too much money as a doctor, just increase their taxes. It's fine. There's other ways to claw that money back rather than charging the money to become a doctor in the first place. Charging the money to become a doctor in the first place, all that does is discourages there being more doctors. Also, it's a class thing where you only get rich people becoming already rich people becoming doctors, and that's not something you want. There's no reason for that. I mean, 45% sounds high. I'm not really in favor of income taxes. I'm in favor of wealth taxes because money that isn't circulating in the economy has no value and is gradually corrosive. Because every dollar you pull out of the economy means there's less money going around, and that's what raises prices. With wealth taxes, essentially, so right now everybody pays wealth taxes if they own a house. They're called property taxes. And what wealth taxes do is they tax everything you have instead. Right? They tax everything you have instead of just your property. So if you have, $10 million worth of property, counting your cars and your houses and your stocks and your bonds and your art, if you paid 2% of that every year, you'd have to pay $200,000 in taxes for all that stuff you own. And consequently, you would end up in a society where people would massively inflate the value of their property so much. Because every year you would have to pay a percentage of it. And more importantly, and this is the key part, it would keep people from just infinitely acquiring wealth and hoarding it. Because the more wealth you got, the more taxes you have to pay. It's a really good system. No. Wealth taxes only come in for people who are actually wealthy, i.e. have millions of dollars of assets. In the same way that you don't have to pay income tax if you make less than $18,000 in a year, you wouldn't have to pay a wealth tax unless you had more than like $5 million in assets. No, no, no. Almost no one would have to pay this. Major corporations would have to pay it. Massive stock owners would have to pay it. Things like that. That is who would be paying wealth taxes. Oh, crap. And now there's no way back because the enemies don't respawn? It's a really good system. But it's tough to get in because the rich people are who had money. Maximum wage is also a good thing. Basically, if you make more than, say, $300,000 a year, right? Then everything over that, you pay 90% in income taxes. Because no one can possibly need more than $300,000 a year. Fun fact, you know how America, like back in the 40s and 50s, built an entire giant highway system and bridges and tunnels and dams all over the country? One of the major ways that they did that was that their tax rate was 90% for anyone who made over $100,000 a year, which is like, you know, $600,000 today. Yeah, 90%. But only for the portion that was over $100,000 a year. Because think about it logically, and I know this freaks people out, but think about it logically. If you're getting $300,000 a year, what are you doing with the rest of that money? Right? Like, you can't possibly be spending it on anything. All you're doing is hoarding wealth. Wealth that could be better used on somebody else. Careful. There we go. Boom. Now, I know that's a difficult sell. 90% tax rate sounds high, but the greatest economic expansion America ever had is while this 90% tax rate was in effect. Also, here's a fun fact. There were ways to get around this, paying this tax rate. This is true, what I'm about to tell you. There were ways to get around that 90% tax rate because you weren't taxed, in many cases, on money that was invested in a business. So, let's say you made $500,000 in a year, but $400,000 went to buying buildings for a business, buying equipment for a business, buying land for a business, blah, 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 blah. If you were investing in a business and growing a business, you could use it became a tax shelter. So you could put that $400,000, so you made $500,000, you know, the $400,000 on top of it, you're paying 90% in taxes. So you would have to either A, give that $360,000 to the government, or B, you could invest in that $360,000 in your business, and now you've got a bigger, more successful business, which also helps the country. Both of them are good systems. Probably going to wait for video on Gladiator 2. Wealth tax is great because it keeps people from just, you know, buying $200 million paintings. In case you're wondering, hey, why are paintings so expensive now when they didn't used to be? I know you're too young to remember when paintings weren't super expensive. Now every painting, every famous painting is like $300 million. And the reason is, it's because a rich person wanted to hide $300 million and not pay taxes on it. But if they had to pay 2% of the value of a painting every year, that painting that they paid $300 million for, you'd be paying $6 million a year to the government just to be the owner of that painting. Just to continue being the owner of that painting. And something tells me suddenly people wouldn't be spending so much time hiding their assets in paintings. Why is that? Why do they think the wealth tax is useless? I mean, it's more money to support our social safety net, and it keeps people from building up too much wealth. The positive outcome is there are fewer rich people. Spoiler alert, rich people destabilize societies. Societies are inevitably destabilized by having super rich people in them. The rich people hoard political power, and everything gets worse. No, it's just something she's wrong about. And that's fine, you know? I'm not telling her how to live. But she's just wrong about this. Bat hunting. So if I kill enough bats... Babies have 20 teeth called baby teeth. Okay, thanks. Actually, I didn't know that. I didn't know how many teeth babies had. Yeah. The positive outcome is there are fewer rich people. That's a good end in and of itself. Spoiler alert, rich people don't accomplish things. Almost nothing good has ever been created by a super rich person. All the good work, even the people who are quote-unquote self-made, all the good work they did was when they were trying to get rich. Once they got rich, they got lazy. Now, that's not true in the field of entertainment and sports. Obviously, in the fields of entertainment and sports, rich people still do a lot of good work. And if you wanted, like, an exception made to some of this tax stuff for being an athlete, I could understand that. Athletes have very limited earning potential over a short amount of time. But you cannot arrange a whole society around what we pay our athletes and our authors. That said, honestly, in a world where we have socialized medicine, where all healthcare is free, like, you don't need as much money. Of course, I also think housing should be free, but that's a whole other conversation. That's not one of my more popular political stances. I got in trouble recently on a podcast for saying that it is your moral duty to damage expensive cars. And I'm like, no. I would never advocate that. I don't want to do it. But that is something I feel very deeply. But no, people should not damage expensive cars. Oh. Simply, my belief is that if you have a car that costs more than $100,000, you are not a valuable member of society because you have proven that you are wasting resources that could be better used to help people. It's the same reason I don't, anytime I see someone with an expensive watch, I'm like, okay, well, you're not a valuable person. You spent $200,000 on a watch. You are not a person who is useful to society. And it is only ethical to take that person's watch. Now, I would never do that, and I would never advocate anyone do that. We frequently do not do the things that are ethical, but I'm talking about ethics here. Well, the idea, Horror King, is that anything you can do to make a super rich person's life worse, it is your responsibility to do. Yeah, that's just gibberish. Like, I don't know what she thinks she means by that, but, you know. See? That's a perfectly fine amount of money to be paying for a watch. Imagine, Horror King, a watch for your wrist that costs $250,000. That watch exists. It shouldn't exist. No one should have that watch, but they exist. But yes, the positive outcome is that there are fewer rich people in the world. Yeah. Except we're not investing capital in it. We're taking the money away from rich people. We're not investing capital. Yeah. Exactly right. Because you're a sane person. See, rich people, and this is a fact about the psychology of rich people. Rich people understand on some fundamental level that there is no difference between them and everybody else. That it is entirely, they know what they did to get rich, and they know it is entirely either luck or fraud that got them rich. Now, society is organized to treat rich people like they are special and valuable. Consequently, every rich person, except for absolute psychopaths, although even some of the absolute psychopaths, but generally every rich person has imposter syndrome. And they know they don't deserve the comfortable life they live on some level, and so they're constantly doing things to compensate. They surround themselves with opulence to try and act as if they deserve their kingly stature that they are placed in society, and they try to isolate themselves from normal people so that they can pretend they're not just a normal person. And so anything you can do to remind them they're just a normal person, that's something that will improve society. Nice. And that's fine. But we're not talking about, you're not talking about being a person who has so much money that you can drop $250,000 on a statue and not even notice that you've dropped $250,000 on a statue. You see, when people say property should be outlawed, a lot of people panic because they assume that people are talking about, like, their stuff, their clothes, their collectibles, the stuff that brings them joy. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the concept of owning land, of siphoning off parts of the world that should be held in common for everyone. Yeah, a lot of people think that way, and that's normal. But the fact is, the idea that anyone should be able to own land is ridiculous. It's land. It was here before us. It'll be here after us. How dare somebody say that it's theirs? But then you're getting really deep into how communes work and how, how to establish full communism, and we're very far from that. Like, I'm not saying it's not worth discussing. I'm saying we're very far from being able to discuss it. Right now we have to figure out what, effects we can come to in the world we already live in. And a big part of that is decreasing the power of rich people. Rich people are all cowards and they're all paranoid. And they will do whatever they can to keep their power. Because the minute you become rich, the only thing you start to prioritize is remaining rich. And that can only damage society. And I know that voting green would be a good way to help with this, but voting NDP is the better choice. You get 2 extra hit points. Oh, you can't get 100 teeth. No, there's not 100 teeth in the game. I thought you meant toothpaste. 100 toothpaste gets you extra hit points. 100 teeth can't happen. I really thought I could make that jump. But yes, as we approach the new election, the important thing everyone needs to remember to do is if you don't vote conservative under any circumstances, Google in your area, poll results, find out whether the Liberals, the NDP, or maybe you're lucky in the Greens, are most likely to be able to defeat the Conservatives in your area, and not only vote for whoever is most likely to defeat the Conservatives in your area, but advocate to your friends, family, and neighbors to vote for whoever is likely. Inform them of who is most likely to defeat the Conservatives, and encourage them to vote for that party. There you go. And as long as the NDP is still powerful in your area, vote for them. If the Liberals have massively moved up, vote there. If the Greens have massively moved up, vote there. But the important part is, and then you advocate for ranked choice voting so that A, everyone can vote for who they want to, and we can get an accurate sense of what our population really believes, and B, so the Conservatives will never have power again. Because nobody likes their policies. And yes, I know some people like their policies, but it's only a tiny minority of people who like their policies. A vanishingly small minority of people like Conservative Party policies and want them to be in charge. And it's only our broken electoral system that keeps them in charge. And then I have to hit the other side to make the spikes disappear. Okay, I now understand what I'm supposed to be doing here. So yeah, that is what's going on in Canadian politics, everybody. And I can't stress this enough. Do not destroy rich people's cars. I may believe it's a moral imperative, but don't do that. I also believe that if you have 2 coats, you should give one of them away to somebody who doesn't have a coat. I'm a little more strict about this stuff than most people. And there you go. I finally built that pillar. I do not expect everyone to agree with my positions on these things. I'm a little more radical than some. Maybe I'm a little more radical than most. But my only goal is to have the best outcomes for the most number of people, which I don't think is controversial, but I have been proven wrong about that in the past. We don't have to tax them, we can just take their money. Like, if she'd prefer we just appropriate all of their money, that's fine. You know, just sign a piece of paper saying this is the max amount of money people are allowed to have. You know, that works too. Well, there seems to be 4 big teeth per level. Nice. There seems to be 4 big teeth per level and 8 levels in the game, so I think there's going to be 32 teeth. Would be my guess. I know, it's shocking, right? How dare I? I also believe in a federal jobs guarantee. I don't think the concept of unemployment should exist. I think unemployment as a concept exists only so people with money and power have something to threaten people with. Have a way to threaten people to say, if you don't make more money for me, you will lose your home and die. Yeah. Federal jobs guarantee, everybody. It's the only moral way to live. You know why Martin Luther King was killed? Martin Luther King was killed because he was campaigning for a federal jobs guarantee. That's a fact. You know what the March on Washington was about? The March on Washington, the famous I Have a Dream speech? That was a march on Washington for jobs. That's what the march was for. He was demanding a federal jobs guarantee, and that's why the FBI killed him. Because he was going to create nationwide strikes. Because the last thing they wanted people to find out is that the only people who actually have any power are the workers. You can always tell how important a job is by how quickly, how terrified the government is of them going on strike, how willing they are to strike, and how good results they get by striking. He was organizing strikes, and so the FBI murdered him. But yeah, best possible thing we could get is a federal jobs guarantee. I can't stress that enough. And in case people aren't familiar with how that works, that means every city, every town, every place, if you don't have a job, you can walk off into an office and say, I would like to work for the government today. And the government will give you something to do for a day, a week, or the rest of your life. And they will pay you a respectable wage to do it. And it's as simple as that. And if businesses want to compete, well, they got to pay better than the government. The government would create a baseline of prosperity for every person who is willing to get up and work. And if people are disabled, obviously there is care for them. And honestly, probably there's work they can do. Especially in this day and age, when so much work happens on computers and online. So yeah, federal jobs guarantee. No more unemployment. You might say, but everyone having a job will increase, will cause... That's true, you are worse for not being on the left or right. Not picking a side makes you the worst kind of person there is. I'm kidding, you're not the worst. I don't understand what to do about these locked doors. Anyway, it turns out Ginger the Tooth Fairy is a pretty good game. It's still not communicating what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it well. But the platforming is engaging. Really wish I had a double jump. Oh, that's the pattern that's the pattern the thing is supposed to be in. So it's down, 1, up, down, 2. Wait. Down, 1, down. Okay, so it's down, 1, up, down, up. Down, 1, up, down, up. Down, 1, up, down, up. Ugh, how did I not see that? Clever puzzles in this game, too. Oh, except I've already screwed it up and it doesn't reset. Alright, I'm going to do this, then we're stopping the stream. And there's nothing wrong with that, Horror King. Down, one, up, down, up. Ah! Jerk. All right, let's do it. Down, one, up, down, up. Uh-oh. Yes! Money is part of capital. Money is not capital. Capital is money that is used to make more money. Money, property, resources that are used to generate money without additional work. If you were a capitalist, you were someone who makes money without working for it. It's as simple as that. It is resources that generate income. So instead of work generating income, you say, well, I own the factory. So people should pay me just because I already own the factory. And yes, that is the part that corrodes societies. I will tell, careful. I will tell Lady Guru you said hi. Thanks everybody for dropping by. We'll see you on Wednesday for more games, but until then I'll say that's right. Au revoir.